All right, recording's going.
Sweet. Right, so a little bit of background here for you, since we are beginning the actual session. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, Albert II, King of Austria and Emperor of the Habsburg Crown Lands, rode north into the Kingdom of Bohemia on an expedition against King Turtle, and was killed in battle against said king, which is somewhat unfortunate because rather recently, you guys received, you being the Privy Council to the Queen, who is not of age and thus has a regent, who is the king, her uncle actually, the King of the Magyars over in Hungary. You have received a letter from the Tsar in the Ruslands, who has just declared war on you for executing his emissary. Now, technically, you didn't execute the emissary. The emissary died under torture in the dungeons of King Albert II. Long may he burn in hell. But the effect is the same. The Tsar is coming for your lands without you attached, which is bad because you're currently in a war with the Kingdom of Bohemia to your north. The treasury is a little bit strapped for cash, as the better part of it went to pay for mercenaries who are now scattered on the field, and you have some disloyal vassals in the east. Without further ado, I will set this off with you guys receiving yet another letter, informing you that the King of Poland held the armies of the Tsar at bay at the river Vistula. And that happened about 1 week ago, right? As you
Still can't believe we pulled that off.
You guys,
Look, it was
received the draw,
the
with
greatest
Poland,
feat.
Pre-game setup. And your spies have just reported, and this is disconcerting, your spies have reported the armies of the Tsar have crossed the Vistula.
Since we're recording this, we should probably actually say who our characters are. I'm playing Bjorn. I'm a dragon riding cavalier. We've modified the cavalier to make it a little less bad. I'll get into that now, but I suppose my character comes from the Norselands, if I haven't already said that. Yeah. Who's next?
Sure, I'll go. So I am playing Zedarius, a tiefling bard, well known throughout most lands as a man of great strategy and as a man of great renown, as far as I have served in many a court, both as just a court bard and as an advisor, but never stayed anywhere for any long period of time, as I never felt I belonged.
And Jacer?
I am Zafriel, Shadowhunter, the fallen Asmar Oathbreaker Paladin. Probably Austrian. No one really knows. I broke my oath of redemption to take revenge on the people that attacked my temple, and have been wandering the land, wreaking my own version of justice ever since.
We make him sit alone at the in the mess hall.
Yeah, nobody trusts an Azamar.
It's not a phase, Dad.
And I am the Dungeon Master, who has just paused the downloads in the background that were causing him to wonder why he kept DCing from Discord for the past 30 seconds. Because the only force in this world more powerful than the Dungeon Master is Steam updates.
And do you want to give an official title to this campaign, Olmat?
Putting me on the spot. You bastard! The official title for this campaign shall be...
The Prologue?
The Ashen Empire.
The Ashen Empire. Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
And for those of you wondering what you're seeing on screen currently, yes, this is a Gwent board. Our glorious DM found that Gwent can be a great D&D mechanic for large-scale battles, which he can explain in better detail.
But won't. So.
Thank you, Omont.
It doesn't matter right now. Let's keep moving.
We'll
We'll explain it when we get there.
The Empire is short on time. To say that is a somewhat of an understatement. The date currently, somewhat unfortunately for the Tsar, is the 4th of April, the year 1364 of the Second Era. This is post-conjunction, if you will. Every day that passes, the Tsar moves closer to your borders, and when he gets there, hell will begin to reign loose. The Tsar, amongst the forces of Novgorod, Kiev, and the Ruslands, as well as some pagans from the Baltic that he picked up along the way, mages from Samarkand, and Tartars from the steppes, brings with him an army, so to speak, of demons. This is bad. So,
Do we know which direction he's coming? Since he got stopped in Poland?
He has been waylaid in Poland. As I said, you have just received word that the Tsar has crossed the Vistula. He is coming from the north, across the Polish plain, and plans to enter your country, best as you can tell, through Silesia.
Well, all right.
Silesia being to your north, if you're unfamiliar with
Yeah.
the geography of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Suffice to say, he's coming from the north, as opposed to the east, or, gods forbid, the south.
I was gonna say, you know that part, or I was gonna give descriptions to where it is, but then I realized I was gonna use a country that doesn't exist anymore as, it's part of that country that doesn't exist anymore.
Which
Exactly.
country?
Prussia.
Yeah.
It's part of Prussia, which hasn't existed for several hundred years in the context of reality.
But it always exists in our hearts.
Indeed. Or at least it always exists in Argentina.
Jesus.
Oh, shots
I'm
fired.
sorry. That's not even shots fired. That's just the truth. Argentina is the only country in the world who still maintains Prussian military traditions, which is weird and strange, but that's what happens when you hire Prussian military advisors to train your army.
Anyways,
Right. So, you guys are at the Privy Council. The Queen is there. Now, the Queen does not rule the Empire. In fact, at the moment, there is no Emperor or Empress because the death of Emperor Albert II. There is in the Empire there is a mandatory mourning period, right, before a new emperor can be appointed, right, and that period is 9 months. The idea being, because back a couple hundred years ago, when they codified the laws of succession to prevent succession crises that kept popping up and destroying the empire, the idea being that we'll give it 9 months to prove that no child was born of the emperor, right, after he died. The idea being that just in case the emperor's wife or a concubine or some prostitute down in the sticks, right, that will let 9 months go by, and then we'll decide who the new emperor is, in case we want it to be that person that was just born. Now, in this case, it's not going to be that person, because, one, the emperor's wife is not pregnant, and has been dead for 20 years, which is only a little awkward, because the emperor's 15-year-old daughter currently sits on the throne.
Awkward.
Yes. And her uncle, Henry the Gentle, who is king of the Magyars, her father's brother in this case, sits as Lord Regent to the empire. So he is the man in charge, but he does not technically rule. And so you and he and the Queen are at the Privy Council discussing what to do about the approaching Tsar.
We should meet them on the field of battle and drive them away.
we can't win a fair fight. He outnumbers us, and he has literal demons at his side. Perhaps we should try and cut him at a mountain pass or a river crossing, where we will be able to use our advantage, or be able to use any advantage we can find. This would be easier if we actually. Let's see. I'm gonna just pull up a map of the region.
No one ever said it had to be a fair fight.
I have for you. Hold on, stand by. The hell But I'll just copy and paste this into the map folder and make it a document that you can pull up within Fantasy Grounds at your whist. So if you'll excuse me.
Nice.
This is going to be the political map of the region as opposed to a topographic map. If you understand basic geography, you get the gist of it. If you don't understand basic geography of this region, then I pity you. I'm sorry.
But what if I just don't understand basic geography?
If you don't understand basic geography, then what school did you go to?
Home.
Unfortunately, I went to Spring High School.
Okay, I assume that is incredibly shitty because you don't understand basic geography.
To be fair, it can't be much worse than yours.
Look, my basic geography is excellent. My American geography is terrible.
I was meaning school.
Fair enough. Is it this image?
Yeah, no, my junior year there was a stabbing that killed a student.
Oh, wow. Sounds like you went to a wonderful place.
And it always happened during geography. It was so weird.
Every time I went to geography class.
Well, hey,
Someone got stabbed.
Needless to say, it became very Hunger Games-esque every time I went to geography on who would die next.
Well, hey, if it makes you feel any better, the class that came before mine at my school lit the school on fire 3 times.
That's awesome.
Well, out of
the problem is, everybody knows the phrase, you're joshing me, right?
Yeah.
The kid who got stabbed, his name was Josh.
Oh, Jesus.
Needless to say,
everyone that's listening to this recording now knows that Josh was stabbed to death at Spring High School.
I feel
not necessarily
bad.
to death, just stabbed.
Let's edit that part out.
I feel somewhat bad, but at the same time, you gotta be joshing me.
You're a bad person.
So what you're saying is you stabbed a motherfucker.
No, luckily I didn't do it. I thought about it a lot at Spring.
I have, in theory here, shared with you.
It's still loading on my end.
The Empire, which will load over the course of 10,000 years.
Loading for me too.
As anybody that ends up watching this just stares at a gray screen with
There
me.
we go.
Yeah, you might have to zoom out and mouse around here to get it.
Okay, so now we can actually show people where where Silesia is. I mean, at least it's Bohemian Silesia, but close enough.
Exactly.
So
if you're unfamiliar, like I said, with the geography of the empire, which is just Austria-Hungary in reality, there along the northern border of between the Kingdom of the Magyars and the Marquis of Ruthenia, there's a mountain range that is, for all practical purposes, impassable to large armies. That mountain range extends up to from basically Volhynia, or actually technically it extends all the way through across Transylvania, up through Volhynia, across the Marquis of Ruthenia and the Hungarian border, up to the western border of the Viscount of Krakow. There is a gap there. And then another mountain range starts and runs up through Silesia and up around the borders of the Kingdom of Pravda, or in this case, Bohemia. There's only a couple places where a large army can easily ford the gap in the Carpathians and get into your kingdom. And at the moment, it looks like they're heading for the Viscounty of Krakow to shoot the gap in the mountains there.
All right.
Now, I should point out another couple things about this map. This map is color-coded into direct vassalage. So each color block indicates essentially someone who is beholden directly to the emperor, or in this case, the queen and the Lord Regent. Now, you are currently at war with the Kingdom of Bohemia, which is blue up to your north, but the King of the Magyars and all
when did we end up at war with them? I thought they were on our side.
They probably will be on your side.
They were.
No, I let you know what's going to happen in the future, but that is in the future. That has not yet happened. At the moment, you are at war with the Kingdom of Bohemia to your north. Or I shouldn't say at war. You're not in a full-scale war. The king launched a raiding party. Essentially, you are hostile towards them. There's not a formal declaration of war, but your king has just been killed on the field in Moravia.
Okay.
The King of the Magyars, the Duke of Savoy, Duke of Carpathia, the Duke of Styria, the Marquis of Ruthenia, the Count of Volhynia, and Krakow. These are the people who are direct vassals of the Emperor and the Queen Regent, right? or I should say, not Queen Regent. Help! Yeah, terms. The Queen and the Lord Regent, and then each of the individual Austrian counts is a direct vassal.
Do we know roughly how long we have until the Russians show up?
You don't know exactly because really nothing moves slower than an army on the march.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so you've got a couple of months. They cross the Vistula, and it depends on how long does Poland delay them. Is Poland delaying them? Has Poland stood down? Right? Because it's been 1 week since our last session. Like within the timeline of the game, it has been 1 week.
Yeah.
So things have happened, and you've got at least months until the Tsar gets here.
We have how long till the Tsar gets here?
A couple of months at least.
Oh, 2 months.
You don't know exactly how long. It could be longer. It could be shorter. It depends. It depends on many things. At the moment, you guys are in somewhat of a pickle. The Crown Treasury is up here. Imperial Crown Prince. You have 994 marks in your treasury, which is not a whole lot. It's roughly 663 pounds. So the treasury is somewhat depleted. Because again, the Emperor Albert II marched north on Bohemia with a large army of mercenaries and got absolutely annihilated in Moravia and killed to boot. Oops, you could chastise him, but he is dead. Now, whether or not you guys advocated for that or against that is up to you, but the result is the same. The Emperor is dead. And at the moment, no vassal levies have been raised. Your retinue is scattered across the field, so you have essentially, at the moment, there is no standing army. The retinue is scattered to the winds. There are members of the retinue who yet still survive, but they have not come and regrouped in the capital of Biest.
What is the quality of these retinue?
The quality of the retinue was, shall we say, above average for retinue, which is to say, very good quality if you average all soldiers. Right?
What I'm trying to say is, would it be worth trying to put together to regroup the survivors and put them into a unit? Or are there so few of them left that their quality would not make up for the fact that there's so few of them left?
Right. So the King of the Magyars will respond, and he'll tell you that this is the Lord Regent saying that he can organize an expedition. Right. He has cavalry scouts right at his disposal. That's like kind of one of the things that he does. Is a lot of cavalry, and he can tell you that he can dispatch some cavalry scouts to try and find any surviving members of the retinue and regroup them. In his opinion, this is his opinion, mind you. This will not likely be a significant gain. It's not a significant cost for him to do this, right? But he doesn't think you're going to find a whole lot of people because most of them are probably dead, captured, or wounded, right? He can inquire to the King of Bohemia, right, about ransoming any people who are left because the King of Bohemia did take prisoners, right? So you can ask to ransom whatever members of the army that the King of Bohemia took.
It's not likely we can afford that, given our poor status.
Most of whom are mercenaries, anyways, right? And have no loyalty to you beyond the coin that you pay them.
Which is running out.
And if history has taught us one thing, it is to always pay your mercenaries.
We should, given our poor economic status, we should, if at all possible, avoid mercenary units.
Yeah. I should
Too bad we started off with some.
You do have a significant stockpile of. So your treasury is basically in two parts, right? You have a what could best be described as a coin reserve, right? Which is about 600 pounds of marks, being imperial currency. That is your monetary coin reserve for purchasing anything, basically. You also have a goods reserve. Because most of your money is collected not in taxes but in tithes. So you have quite a lot of grain in tithes. That's sort of like the standard unit of like, all right, we have to give the crown something. We will give them 10% of our grain profit. So you have a lot of grain. but that has to be converted into cash before before it can be spent. And additionally, that's also your reserve in terms of siege, that grain supply. So if you start converting this into cash, you're going to have less grain to feed your people if it comes to that.
Okay, so how do the various levies stand?
Right. So the Lord Regent will inform you that he has his full levy is at your disposal. Of course, the Lord Regent he seems loyal, right?
I mean, I wasn't necessarily just meaning his in particular. I was meaning like the realm levies. So like
so the levies have
you know,
not yet
can
been
we
tapped.
basically, you know, can we like drag the Magyars and the Croatians and the Italians? Like, what are we talking about in terms of army that we have at our disposal? We can get there within the time frame.
So it could take it'll take a couple of weeks to if you raise the dragon banner, it'll take a couple of weeks for all of your levies to filter in. The levy situation is on paper good. The emperor did not tap the crown levies for his march into Moravia. He just hired mercenaries. Now, the reason I say on paper it was good is because there's a reason the emperor didn't tap the crown levies for his march into Moravia, and that's your vassals aren't exactly the happiest with you at the moment. If you raise the dragon banner, it's not a guarantee that all of them will come, which could be a problem. At the moment, the most disloyal of your vassals is the Marquis of Ruthenia. He's actually, and the Lord Regent will tell you that the Marquis of Ruthenia has ties, blood relation. When I say ties, he has relatives, right, in the Tsar's court, and he has been acting most disloyal of late. He shorted you the last tithe that came around. He's been refusing to pay essentially the full share of the taxes levied against him, and he's been demanding autonomy for a while now.
That sounds like a lost cause to me. Don't get me wrong; he should be reined in, but we've got bigger problems. Yeah. So I think we can safely rule out trying to court his levies.
So the Austrian counts, right? Count of Graz, Linz, Reichstadt, Wolfsburg, and Innsbruck, they will answer your call. They're direct vassals to the emperor and loyal. The Marquis of Ruthenia, we have reason to suspect him, and it is likely he will not answer your call to arms. My troops are at your disposal, and the Duke of Styria is known to be loyal. Savoy and Croatia are edge cases. The Duchy of Croatia is recently added to the empire. It's unsure of how they will respond, and the same is true of Savoy.
Which of them offers the better either in quantity or quality forces?
The Duchy of Savoy, by far.
Okay, in that case, we should probably focus on trying to court the Duchy of Savoy to ensure that they answer our call to arms.
All right.
So I suggest for our first move as players is going to be to go over there and see if there's anything we can do to help out or do something that will get them to actually come and, show up.
Yeah, I can support that.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go meet this. Wait, what did you say it was a what of Savoy?
The Duke of Savoy.
Duke of Savoy.
Duke! Hey, it's the Duke!
Let's go meet Count Dooku.
Oh god, wouldn't that be awesome? He just stabs you in the back immediately.
Yeah.
I forget. It's the Crown Regent. Is he the King of the Magyars?
Yes. So
okay, yeah. So he's loyal.
Yes.
So we don't have to worry about him.
Is the King of the Magyars. He is the uncle of the Queen, who is the heir presumptive, I should say. So the Albert II, long may he rot in hell. Albert II the Fat, I should say, or the Wise or the Lame, depending on who But needless to say, the man had quite a small extra girth. He had a son and 2 daughters before he died. His son died a while ago in Milan. Oops. In fact, his son died as part of the conquest of Italy, or northern Italy, Treviso and Savoy. So his eldest daughter, Catherine, currently sits upon the throne. She's 15, and she is of illegitimate birth. And his youngest daughter, Margaret, is also of illegitimate birth. That said, his eldest daughter was legitimized by the Archbishop of Lyons, so she can inherit and is the heir presumptive.
All right.
But in the eyes of your vassals, that's not exactly being a legitimate. A bastard, even a legitimized one, is not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So your vassals aren't really happy with her. She's a female ruler. She's underaged. She's a bastard.
I want to court her.
You can. That is
Dear Lord.
absolutely within your purview.
Aren't we all
I'm
playing
not
like
sure
older
if
guys
you
right
can-
now, though?
No, I would say Zedarius is probably late 20s at the oldest, probably closer to
No one
mid.
knows how old I am.
Nobody cares how old you are.
I'm 9 billion.
9 billion years old. Good for you. So you're older than the universe itself.
I predate all of reality.
I predate the solar system. I don't know how old the universe is. Presumably
Time is a concept I invented.
Well, then you're
So
an
what you're
asshole.
You're welcome.
All right, so you will travel to the Duchy of Savoy to talk to the Duke and see about recruiting his men.
So tell me where are we going? Sorry.
To
You
the
are
Italian
good
territories,
for
the yellow ones.
Yeah,
Yellow ones. Okay. Duke of
Neutral
Savoy.
Kentucky.
Got it.
And now it's up to you. Do you wish to travel there directly, or do you wish to just raise the dragon banner and summon all levies? And then
I think it would. We might want to start like rallying like the troops we know that are going to be loyal. So Austria, Hungary, the Styria. I suspect Styria we can count on without doing much there. Based on
Styria will answer the call. Yes.
Yeah. So what we probably want to do is we want to get them rallied and ready and, mobilized, get their morale up, and get them into position. And then we can bring in what reinforcements we can.
All right.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
we should just raise the banner.
Well, we want to make sure. Yeah, Isaac's
Yeah,
right. We
well-
want to make sure he'll actually show up if we raise the banner. So it
Yeah.
might be better to talk to him first,
Yeah.
and then we can always just send a message ahead of us and have them raise the banner on our way back.
That's true.
All right. Just keep in mind.
Where are
that,
we currently? Sorry.
You guys are currently in the Imperial City of Yest, which is in sort of on the border with on that map, in between the provinces.
If you know where Vienna is, that's where we are.
It's in Vienna. If you don't know where Vienna is, it's on the border between the King of the Magyars and the Emperor of Yest.
Gotcha. All right, that helps. All right. So it's going to take us a while to get there.
Yes, it's going to.
Yes,
take
we'll
you-
move. We move faster because we're going to be a small group.
It's
Also-
just three of us.
Also, one of you has a dragon.
Yeah, that helps quite a bit.
Okay, what about the other two of us? Can we borrow horses?
I think all
How
three
big's
of us
your
could
dragon?
ride on one dragon.
I'm
Actually,
sorry.
wait, what the fuck am I saying? I can summon a horse. I'm gonna summon Steed.
I'm sorry. I'm just now picturing. Can we bring horses? Yeah, sure. It just like cuts to the dragon flying. My character's riding on the back of the dragon. You guys are riding on the horses that are being carried by the dragon in its claws.
You stop in Switzerland to eat the horses. What role does the horse play in modern warfare? Good eating.
God damn it.
Oh,
It's a quote from.
hold on a second. I gotta see what level this spell is.
General Stillwell, I think. Anyway,
Oh, sweet. Okay, give me 1 second. I need 10 minutes.
Okay, great. I think all three of you can probably fit on Isaac's dragon, though. So.
I mean, I'll just sit on the dragon playing whatever instrument happens to be on hand, because my character is literally proficient with every fucking instrument.
It is a kazoo made out of a lizard with a hole drilled in it.
Let's see. Nope, that's the wrong button. God damn it, this map is too big. And I can't resize the damn thing. Alright, so hang on. What am I proficient in? Just so I can show everybody. So, I am proficient with bagpipes, drums, flutes, lyres, mandolins, violins, and lutes.
Jeez. I'm proficient in kicking people in the teeth.
Well, as y'all know, this is not a combat-focused character.
Yes, it is not. You are a bard. That is correct. You have rolled a bard.
Oh no,
God
this
have
you've
mercy on
seen
your
my
soul.
bard. This is like the most. None of my spells do damage except for like 4.
Yeah, I
All right,
know.
I'll
So,
sit on-
all right, so we're gonna run like a high. By the way, we're all like 15th plus level. It's like we're gonna run a high level combat focused campaign. I roll a bard. All
Look,
right.
Look, I have imprisonment.
You get power word kill if you want.
I mean, look.
He doesn't. He does not have power word kill.
I
Look,
have
I'm the dragon
imprisonment.
rider. I need someone who can play like dragon themed music. So I don't know, like Dragon Force or something.
He
Have
just
to have
plays
him
the. No, with his kazoo, he plays the Indiana Jones theme as I draw a red line on the map that goes from Viesco to Savoy. Alright, you're there.
Cool. But considering the start of this campaign is very politically set, I have a good character for that. I have a very good character.
You do have a
for
good
that.
character for that.
Yeah, and you can heal us on the battlefield as we slowly die.
Actually, I don't think I have any healing spells.
What do you
Son of a
what do you-
bitch.
What do you mean slowly die? We're gonna die quickly and painfully.
Hey, but
hope
guess
you're
what,
on
guys?
additional character
Guys,
sheets.
no matter what happens, unless we're fighting an Eye of the Beholder, I can summon Lemoyd's Tiny Hut, and we can just get a full heal right then and there.
There is a Beholder card, but I don't anticipate him being in the enemy deck.
Well, there you go. See?
Let's see.
Yeah,
Here,
but-
Because I has Speak with the Dead, Tongues, Dimension Door, so that way we can get wherever we want really quick if need be. I have the Resilient Sphere, Greater Invisibility. I have Greater Restoration. That's a thing I have. Oh, I just realized my character has Modify Memory, so I'm not actually well known across the lands. I just cast a spell, Modify Memory on whoever I meet, so that way they think they know me.
Oh.
This is what I love about modern technology. Is right now, as we just babble about, I am calculating how long it's going to take you to get to your destination.
Okay, how long would it take me if I opened a dimensional door?
Dimensional door is also like
100
100 feet or something
limited
like
to
that.
like 100 feet, so probably quite a long time.
Hey, it moves you
it's
500, so if he used
200.
every spell slot, he could move a certain amount of distance.
It's
A day?
200
Yeah.
feet every
Dimension
short
door?
rest.
All right, so if you guys went on foot, it would take you 8 days. You guys are going by the magical magics of a dragon. What's the fly speed of your dragon, Isaac?
I think it's like 80 feet.
80 feet. Yeah, so I'm gonna cut that in half and take you 4 days to get there by dragon.
Sweet. I'm going to regale all of us with a beautiful heavy metal bagpipe song, just for inspiration.
I don't want us all to be squared up on one giant flying monster. I'm going to summon a griffin and fly near you.
Hang on, I'm pulling something up.
Wasn't there that heavy metal bagpipe version of Katusha?
Yes, the folk gothic version of it.
Yeah.
A big fan of that song. It is now.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you're playing a mixture of that and probably the Bard song, specifically the cover version from Van Canto.
All right, so it is now the Saturday, the 7th of April, the year 1354 of the second era. You've arrived in the Duchy of Savoy. On your dragon. Caw, roar. I don't know. What does a dragon say? Probably the
There
same
you
thing
go.
that a fox does.
There you go. That's the song I play for you.
Well, dragons can actually speak, so it might actually say something. Though I assume it's probably just kind of tired at this point and wants to rest.
the beef, man? That's what your dragon says.
So everybody is inspired by my great heavy metal
Incredible.
bagpipes.
That he plays the whole way there.
All 4 days. No stopping.
And without taking a breath.
Yeah, like his lung capacity is amazing.
But don't put
You
me
find out,
underwater, I die instantly.
Yeah, you find out like on day 4 that he's got a bag of holding in one of his lungs.
And I've stuck the Winds of the East container, the magical item, in the bag, just open.
Well, it's very important that you do that because, as you remember, a bag of holding contains no air. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
No, I believe it does not contain. It doesn't get any fresh air.
Oh, that's right. It has a 10-minute flight there.
So it is technically a portal to the astral sea, which is space. So there's no.
It has space water, also known as vacuum.
Yeah.
But I stuck the Winds of the East container in there, so
The winds of
So
the
technically
east
there is
blow
air in
bizarre.
there.
Yep. So the winds
It's
of the east
just-
blow bizarre 4 days closer to your borders.
All right, anyways.
Welcome to the great and glorious Duchy of Savoy, the newest addition to the Empire, filled with filthy Italians.
I heard
and also
Italian
clean
women are
Italians.
easy, so I mean.
I don't know about easy. They tend to be. I tend to be vaguely attracted to them. As a general rule.
I want to grab the first woman I see and see if I can win her over.
All right. Because this is Dungeons and Dragons and this is a time-honored pastime of the game, give me, drumroll please. That was a terrible drumroll. Give me a charisma check.
Charisma or just flat charisma?
I mean, unless you want to like practice one of your pickup lines on me.
Sure, I'll give you a cheesy pickup line for either prefer persuasion. Hey, beautiful, I seem to have lost my way in your eyes.
Oh, fucking kill me. I'd like to roll for initiative and murder him where he stands.
All right.
Did I win?
13. So we got a giant window covering up the dice result.
I got a
13
30.
plus 17 is a 30.
She immediately falls head over heels for me.
No, all right. So so the lady, I don't know why I'm doing this accent here, but I am. So the lady, this
That's
is the
just
accent
what
I've
she
given
found
her.
away.
So the lady looks at you and she does like the eye flutter thing, and she's like, "Okay." She don't speak your fucking language, bitch. But she's impressed. She likes what she sees.
It turns out it's the Duke's daughter.
Wait.
Now we have to run away screaming.
What level spell is that? Hang on. I might be able to fix this. Hang on.
She looks at your horrible demonic visage, right, and is turned on by this, apparently.
She's into some of that kinky shit. Alright, so I'm
well,
gonna cast a level
let me put it
3
this way,
spell.
She is a devout Satanist.
Oh god. So I'm gonna cast a level 3 spell, tongues.
Yes. Oh, so you're going to speak in tongues at her.
Oh no, it lets you talk to
This is-
anybody in any
I
language.
know it does.
Okay.
But this is just getting better and better. So now that you're speaking in tongues at this Italian woman who is a devout Satanist,
Yeah, I'm gonna cast tongues on her, and I'm just going to try to woo her again.
okay, are you using the same line? I mean, she's not going to know, so...
Sure, I'll use the same line. Fuck it, I'm a one-trick pony.
Can I give him disadvantage by standing over him ominously?
It's still a 21. I mean,
I feel like, if anything, that would give him advantage because he'd be being like a good wingman at that point.
right?
You know what? Fine.
Like,
you know
can
what?
have
I'll-
this, or you can have that thing.
I will allow this. Like, I'm trying to menace him, but it's just.
I'm just
He's
gonna.
using it to his
I'm going
advantage.
to like now that they have been gotten off. I'm just gonna fly off on my dragon, going and try and find the Duke's
What?
castle.
Find the Duke? Alright, excellent. So now that your party's abandoned you, they're trying to
You know what you think?
It's like you guys just are doing this. Bjorn just face palms and takes off.
Guys, I'm a master of strategy. It all has a purpose.
It all has a purpose. I'm curious to see what this purpose is, other than like getting you some cool new venereal diseases.
Anyway, so does a 21 win her over?
A 21 will get you dinner first. Does that count?
Will it win her trust?
I paint you this picture.
Oh god.
You're a large devil-looking thing. Yes, a 21 will win her trust.
Alright, so I just want to know from her perspective as a common folk what the lay of
Yes.
the land is, how everything, like, basically what the courts are like, or like what their opinions on the rulers are.
All right. Yeah. No. So she'll inform you in her best Italian accent, which I'm not going to do because I cannot do a woman's voice in Italian. I'm sorry.
Oh my, you're
Hey,
disappointing.
Alcamagocha, that's a one spicy meatball. There's your dose of racism.
We are recording
Right.
this.
Yeah. Hi. But yeah, no. So she'll she will give you her opinion of the Duke, and her opinion of the Duke is that he is well, I should say, as much as she's willing to tell you, a stranger who looks like Satan, right?
You will love me, damn it.
You will love me. I mean, with that 30 in charisma, baby. Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, she'll tell you that she is a pharaoh. He is, by all accounts, a just ruler. He treats his subjects fairly.
Okay, good to know. Wait, do we have any money?
No, and
Do you
yes,
have any left over from
have
character
any money?
creation?
I never rolled for money on character creation. I think it's safe to say I have 5 gold. I'm just gonna give her 5 gold and say thanks for the information
I
and shoo
remember
her
to-
along.
I forgot to give myself money, but that's okay.
I also did not give myself any money.
Indeed.
Whatever. I give her
yes,
5
so-
gold, shoo her along, thank her for the information.
You can absolutely give her a substantial percentage of the remaining treasury to the realm. Um,
If 5 gold is a
5 gold
substantial.
is like $500 to fucking commoners. You sure you want to do that?
it's actually substantially more than $500 to commoners.
Should I, okay, so instead of giving her
so
5
if you
gold,
give
you just
her-
give her like 5
hold on.
copper.
Yeah, so if you give her, brain, come on, hold on, stand by. If you give her 5 gold pieces, which if my useless web browser would kindly give me a phone call. Thank you, phone.
What was my.
Right, if you give her 5 gold pieces, that is basically the equivalent of hiring. Let me go down my hiring chart. How much would it cost you to
God.
hire Eddie?
Well, but if I'm going off of backgrounds, what background did I select? Probably entertainer. So.
So that means you're poor, which means you would understand the fucking concept of saving money.
It doesn't tell me how much money I should have. Help.
Yeah, the backgrounds usually don't. Sometimes they'll give you like a small purse of like 10 gold.
A pouch containing 15 gold.
Right, so 5 gold, right? Are you ready for this? That's more than twice as much as she makes in a year.
Alright, I'll give her 1 gold. That'll be nice.
All right, so you're giving her like $25,000, basically. Here you go.
Just give me the fucking coin. I'll give her a copper. All right, she can have a copper.
Fine, I will give her 5 copper. Happy.
All right, you can give her 5 pence, and that is more than she makes in a day, and so she will be quite happy.
Alright, I've given her 5 copper. Oh my god.
Holy shit! Yeah, here is an insane amount of money. Thank you for telling me about your Duke. Oh my god. We will teach you the value of money, my noble bard.
I've
with
never
the-
wanted for anything. I've always worked in courts. I just get what I want.
Holy crap! All right, yes.
I deal in gold. I don't deal in these smaller, lesser metals. What do you think I am? Some commoner?
Yeah. So
Yes.
for the record, the Empire doesn't actually deal in copper. That's more of the other Empire thing. But for practical purposes, until I correct the charts for you guys, which I'll do probably sometime this next week, you're paying her in pence. So.
Pence, cool. And then pounds.
Yeah, well, it goes pence, shillings, marks, crowns, pounds, or maybe it goes pence, shillings, crowns, marks, pounds. Needless to say, there's a weird and complicated system for doing this, but you can ignore it for the time being because you're high level. And I will do the work in the back end for you. And yeah, you have a reasonable supply of cash on hand because you're high level.
Cool.
Now that you've gotten her to rat out on her duke for you, and she has told you that her duke is a just man who treats his peasants, or rather his subjects, not just his peasants, his subjects fairly, which is a decent compliment from her. Your dragon rider has flown off to go see the duke. What are you planning to do?
I guess I'll. If I don't know if I can't notice which direction the Duke's residence would be, I would simply, hey, by the way, since I gave you money, tell me where I'm supposed to go. But I would think I would be able to tell and see the castle that I'm supposed to be going to.
I don't know. You might have been there before. Have you?
This far west, I'd say no.
All right. There you go. Yeah. So, sorry, I'm clearing out a board, which I'll give you guys in a moment here.
See, I just assumed that my character, having a wisdom score of 20, was smart enough to actually look when in the skies to see where the
Yeah, where's the big castle at? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, I figured I could see it from here unless I'm in some heavily populated alleyway.
Yeah, but no, she'll give you directions to the Duke. It's not a big deal. She'll be like, "I can go down that road and then that street, and then it's the big castle."
I will just.
And the Duke's castle is actually the Duke's castle is a well-built castle. It's got dressed stone. It's white. It's pretty.
Since I'm walking,
The Duke's a
what's the wealth of the common folk look like? Like standard
The
wealth.
of common folk is prosperous.
Okay.
They appear to be the Duchy of Savoy here deals in by no means exclusively, but has a lot of textiles. Right. They've got a lot of cloth and wool, and linen, et cetera, and they've been dealing a lot in it recently. And the prices of textiles have been climbing steadily for about 50 years, and so they're doing well.
Okay, cool.
It's part of the reason why the Empire decided to go take them over is because they're prosperous. They're not as well off as, say, Venetia over in over in the county of Treviso, the free city of Venetia, which is Venice, essentially. They're very well off, and they're not as well off as Florence down in the Italian states, but they're pretty well off. They're better off than most other places in the Empire.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just make my way to the Duke. Should I make a roll to see if they've heard of me?
They've heard of you.
Okay.
You're on the Privy Council. They've heard of you.
Okay. Well, I meant
roll.
outside of my engagement in the current affairs.
Oh, you mean have they heard of you as a bard?
Yeah, since I've been to courts and I've been used.
Well, you've never been out this far west, but they would travel out east. So yeah, give me a
charisma.
I'm not gonna say charisma. Just give me a flat d20.
Flat d20.
Flat d20.
What? That didn't work.
Slash die space 1d20.
Oh, slash die.
Yeah, it's different than 120. Eight.
8.
No one here has seen your performances.
Okay, that's fine. I haven't been out this far, so I would say, just for reference, that way I know, I would say I've been mostly as far west as Ling and Wolfsburg. I've never been north, or I've been to Morvaria or Morvia, however you say that.
Moravia?
Moravia. I've been there a few times, but mostly, other than that, it was um, Duco, Styra, and then East.
All right, so you've been in Styria and the Magyar lands primarily.
Yes.
That's fine. Yeah. Nobody here at the court in Savoy is like familiar with you as a bard. They're familiar with you as a member of the Privy Council, and they know that you're a bard, but they're not really familiar with. None of them have heard you play.
Okay.
Like by all accounts, they know that you're a bard. They know that you apparently are good at being a bard. They know that the old emperor, right, who is now dead, considered you wise enough to put you on the Privy Council.
Yeah.
Right. For whatever reason, most of them will assume that you're a spy, actually.
I mean, I have a character to do that quite well.
Yeah. Like, most of them assume that you are on the council as a spy. And that part of the reason that you are a bard is because the emperor... Now, whether or not this is true or not, but they assume that the reason that you're on the council is because you served the emperor as a spy, posing to be a bard.
Interesting. Okay.
That's just how they think. They're like, this man says he's a bard, he plays the instrument, he's been all around the Magyar lands, probably a spy. They're not going to necessarily think that you're here to spy on them, per se. You're a member of the Privy Council, right?
Yeah.
But they assume your background is spy.
Fair enough. So, anyways.
So you meet up with Isaac. Have you gone ahead and like gone and seen the Duke already, or did you like wait up for them at the Duke's residence?
I probably like. Look, I assume that they were completely shirking their duties as soon as they got into the Italian lands. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, I told you. I'm going with you.
No. You got off and were assisting. You were facilitating his.
Yeah, I was moving over him while he was flirting, and then when you said you're leaving to go find the Duke, I was like, yeah, I'll come.
All right, I'll allow.
No, I didn't give you a chance. I just took off.
I ran too, you dick. I have long legs. It's fine.
All right. Regardless, I'm going to say that for the purposes of this, that Isaac, unless you're just like leaving your dragon around, I assume you stable your dragon and make sure it's taken care of. That you will finish doing that right around the time.
I mean, my dragon can take care of itself, but
it's kind of the perks of a
I would
dragon.
like to see a stable that can hold a fucking dragon.
The Duke absolutely has a stable that can hold a fucking dragon. By which I mean he'll give you one of the powers at his castle. It's not like a huge dragon. Like I should point out, like your dragon, if I remember, is a young silver dragon, right? So it's size large.
If I were to guess to use World of Warcraft standards here, it's probably the size of one of the drakes you can ride around on in that.
Yeah, young dragons are just a little bit bigger than like large horses.
Yeah.
Like, so it's actually, considering it's carrying the three of us, it's probably pretty tired out.
Hence my question, right? So it's not like a huge, massive behemoth.
Alright, yeah, no, that's fine.
English, right? It's like it's a sort of like it's a bit larger than like a large horse. It's a bit larger than say like Clydesdale. But yeah, so if you're gonna stable your dragon, then they'll show up right around the time that you finish getting all that taken care of.
Okay.
Seeing as how there's generally not much call for dragon stabling here in Italy. By much call, I mean any call whatsoever. This is the first dragon they've seen. They're moderately impressed.
Just for reference, I believe we established that these types of dragons, at least, are found in the Norse lands, so correct. Scandinavia.
I believe the farthest they've ever really gotten is the Saxon area, but those dragons haven't been seen in an age. Yeah, so you are at the Duke's castle.
All right.
Resident. Like I said, it's a well-off castle. It's got dressed stone. It's in good repair.
So this is probably an important question. How tall are the doors here?
How tall are the doors here?
I need to know if my character has to embarrassingly duck under them because he's 6'4".
Yeah, no, you're fine. The doors are like set.
I'm actually the same height as you.
The doors are like very tall. Like again, like this is a symbol of wealth to have large.
I mean, I know, but
right.
But I just needed to check because that's like we're talking Peter the Great size here practically. So
yeah, no, Peter the Giant, Piotr Pumpkin Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her. The doors are like on average about 7 feet high.
Okay.
give or take a couple inches.
So yeah, I guess we just proceed in and await counsel with the Duke.
And the Duke will see you forthwith. Like again, you're from the Privy Council. The Duke has like it's within. It's probably, I'm going to say, about 11 Z's. And the Duke, while he does have meetings for the day, he will make time for you. And so he'll see you. It's going to take about half an hour because the Duke can't just like drop everything, obviously, but he'll get you seen quickly. And so
Alright.
my question, I gotta ask. So did you guys raise the banners, right, and send out the call to arms before
I-
you left, or are you waiting?
I
We
believe
would've waited.
we did so on a delay.
Alright,
So the idea was
so
we'd have time to
to talk to
we-
people.
talk to people.
All right, yeah. So the Duke is not in the loop as to what's going on right now. He knows that the Emperor is dead. That news has reached him, but he doesn't know about the impending invasion yet. He doesn't know that you guys are calling banners. All he knows is the Emperor is dead.
Well, time to inform him.
No. Well, what I think we might want to do is rather than straight up inform him, is try to. Okay, so there's a couple of ways we could play this. We could just straight up and go, "Hey, we're giving you forewarning that this is coming. Is there anything we can do to ensure your loyalty?" Or we can just not mention it and then go about like doing favors for him essentially to ingratiate him to the Empire. I
So
think
we could be like, hey, so who's the person sitting on the throne right now? The daughter?
Correct. So the status of the Empire is that Queen Catherine sits upon the throne. Queen Catherine is both a woman and underage, and there's a 9-month period before the next ruler of the Empire is appointed. Right. So in the interim, her uncle, right, the late Emperor's brother, Henry the General, King of the Magyars, is Lord Regent.
Yeah, we'd be here on behalf of the Lord Regent.
Okay, so we're here on behalf of the Lord Regent, not her. Just being like, hey, Lord Regent, in this time of strife.
we could say we're here on behalf of Lord Regent and the future Queen or something like that.
That
But
would be the most tactful thing to say. So
Yeah, we could be like, hey, yeah, we're here on behalf of them. We just want to ensure the transition is smooth. Is there anything we can do to ensure your continued loyalty?
the real question we want to do that we need to decide here though before we go in is how do we want to play this? Do we want to play it as the war is coming? We're giving you forewarning. Is there anything we can do to ensure your loyalty? Or do we want to just wait for that until the banners are raised, and just try and get him on the good side or get him on our good side with less direct means?
Let's try less direct because that's better suited to my character.
Yeah, it's better to make sure he likes us first before just dropping a bomb on him.
I mean, now the counter argument to that is we would be giving him warning ahead of everyone else. So we're essentially sharing classified information if we do that.
I
But
say we keep that on the back burner to use,
Oh,
but let's
we-
test
you know
the
what we
waters
could do?
first.
You know how we could do it? We could do it like it's a gift or a favor to earn his loyalty. Be like, hey, so the Lord Regent knows that things have been a little heated, but he wants to foster good relations
yeah,
with you.
that's
So-
what I'm saying, and I'm fine with either approach. I was just trying to.
I say let's keep it on the back burner. We don't want to open with our best card.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
So the Duke is gonna see us.
yeah, and so the steward to the Duke will come out and he'll tell you, like the Duke will see you now, and he will open the door and he will announce you and he will say, Your Majesty, it is my pleasure to introduce Bjorn the Dragon Slayer, Zedarius, and Zaphrael, lords and members of the Privy Council, to the Regent. And he will usher you in and then close the door behind you, and it's just you and the Duke. There's nobody else in the room.
All right, we kill him. No, I'm just kidding.
You stab the Duke in through the heart.
I
He
cast.
looks at
take
you,
my great
shock
axe.
upon his face as he lies
I-
bleeding out. His last words are,
I cast
I
ninth
wing my
level
great axe
imprisonment.
at him, and
you seize control of the duchy directly.
Yeah.
Bring it
loyalty
in line.
secure.
You know, it wouldn't be the first time Jacius pulled something like that.
Oh,
Look, my
God.
alignment is lawful evil, man. I could do it if I might do it. You never
That
know.
would absolutely, while it would be evil, not at all be lawful.
No, hey, I'm working on. If he refuses to bend the knee, then we remove him.
He hasn't refused to bend the knee, though.
Anyways, I'm
Well,
gonna
you know what? I
open.
like to think of myself as proactive.
I'm gonna open
Anyways.
the conversation with a with a bow, not a full bow, but a bow to show respect to his position.
You almost
And
said curtsy, didn't you?
I almost said a curt bow for some reason. Don't ask me
Okay,
why.
I was about to be like, I entered the conversation with a curtsy.
Are we
showing
gonna
off
go
my
back to
nice
the powder
politeness.
room incident?
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Look, the powder room thing was my one downfall. It's just a fucking. I was like,
Everything
yeah.
was your one downfall. I don't want to
No,
hear
no,
it.
no. That I was doing so well in that conversation up until that fucking.
Anyways, so I'm gonna open with a bow to show respect, but simply to introduce myself. My name's Zadarius. You know me. I'm part of the Privy Council. We're here to check in and discuss some things.
Okay, he's going to say, my condolences to you and the Emperor and the Empire both for the loss of our late sire. To what do I owe the honor of your visit?
We simply just wish to make sure we know in these troubled times, losing a man of great power and leaving such a vacancy can cause some people that were maybe not happy with his ruling to all of a sudden cut ties. And
Real quick, while he's sorry to interrupt you. While you're talking him up, I'm going to just see if I notice anything anything we should be aware of. I suppose. Where is perception?
yeah. So, anyways, I'll continue while you find the role.
Yeah.
To cause people to cut ties, and while we have no fear of you cutting ties, you're one of our most loyal and graceful subjects or vassals. I'm sorry. We just want to make sure that you're still okay being a part of the greater empire.
He looks at you guys, and he says, yes. And he gives you that same like pause and like kind of like sideways look, like, what are you getting at here? Yes, I am still loyal to the Greater Empire. Yes, I am still loyal to the Regent and to the Queen.
Well, we know there's some unhappy rumors about the current Empress's lineage.
The Empress is the daughter of a whore. Yes. She was legitimized by the Archbishop of Lyons. Yes. Is that not enough to secure her lineage?
How do I get it to roll?
Double click.
Oh, you mean the out of the character sheet?
Yeah, you'll double click the plus button.
Yeah. 9 plus 5. So it's so this is his dorm room basically. Right?
Okay.
It's sort of it's well furnished. It's opulent to the degree that you would expect. It doesn't seem that he's been skimming off of the tithes to sort of fund his own lifestyle. Nothing really looks.
So I get that he's minorly corrupt, basically.
No, I said like nothing really looks like.
Well, you said he was skimming off.
No,
like,
he wasn't.
That's what I said.
Wasn't.
It doesn't look like he's been skimming off of his
okay.
tithes to like fund his own court. He seems to be basically. You don't notice anything that's like an immediate like red flag.
Okay, yeah. That's good. That's what I was looking for. So.
Yeah. Well, she was indeed verified by the Duke of Lineage, but we still know there are some ill speakers of her, and not that we bash those forthright of who bash her. However, we just want to make sure that you have no issues following someone of said lineage.
Yeah, so he will say, if you wish to know where my vote stands, I will vote to confirm Her Majesty, the Queen of Austria.
Okay.
In 9 months' time.
And if she needs your services, you will answer the call.
And he looks at you again because he's getting undercurrents here, right? He's like a little. He's a little. I wouldn't say he's like super. He's not like on edge, but he's like. He gets that he gets that something is going on that has prompted your visit, right? He doesn't know what, right?
Well,
and so he's like,
let me cut to the chase. We believe that the I'm sorry, was he the Duke of Ruthenia? My map closed.
Duke of Sphera?
No, specifically Ruthenia. The one who's disloyal.
The Marquis.
That's right. I'll cut to the chase. The Marquis of Ruthenia is showing potential signs of open rebellion, and while we don't believe he is of that great of threat, we don't know what he might be planning. And we just want to do a check on the other loyal vassals to make sure that they are
still loyal.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, what's the word? Well looked after by the Empire. Is there anything that you need from the Empire?
And so he's starting to get a sense of why you guys are here, and so he's like, you wish to ensure that I do not raise my banner in the inner right now. I see. And he gets a calculating on his face, and he says, my citizens would be happier if our tithes were lowered.
Do we know what his tithes currently are?
10%, which is standard across the Empire.
So due to these harder times, we may not be able to lower them drastically. However, we may be able to lower them by a percentage. Just one. I know it's not a lot.
We may have I may have a solution. It would be a compromise. As you may understand, the Treasury, given the actions of the late Emperor, are somewhat strained. However, I believe that should you increase your levy, we may be able to convince the Lord Regent to reduce your tithe by an equivalent amount. Would that be acceptable?
He mulls it over. He says, yeah, all right. I believe that would be an acceptable turn of circumstances, but I would like my tithe to be set at 7%.
Tell you what, we can guarantee 8. 7's a little steep, but we can see what we can do.
I will. I believe we should send off a request to the Lord Regent immediately. I don't necessarily say that loudly. I was just kind of, that's the, as in, rather than saying we bring this back to him, it's, we just send this right now for approval so we can get the process started.
All right. Yeah. Do you say that? So are you saying that, or are you just communicating that sort of to the party?
I'm gonna go just communicating that to the party. I don't want to set off the alarm bells.
Yeah, because that's absolutely. If you go ahead and if you went and said all right, we should contact the Regent immediately, that would set off alarm bells. You'd be like, wait a minute.
What I might say is we'll fast track this to see if we can get your tithe down as soon as possible.
Yeah. So it's you don't actually need to say that because it's a yearly tithe. The tithe happens.
Okay, fair enough.
The tithe happens in winter, essentially. At Winter Fair. It's sort of near Christmas time, right? And there's a big ceremony at the Imperial Palace in Vienna, and all of the vassals come and they give a bag of gold, essentially, which is basically ceremonial, and then with that comes their tithe. In whatever. And so the tithe is a tax in material goods, if you're not familiar. So what the tithe is it's going to be 10% of whatever Savoy produces. In this case, it's going to be mostly a whole bunch of textile products that the Duke will bring to the Empire.
Which is
right?
even better for us because it means we aren't losing food resources.
And so in return for the Duke getting to keep 3%, which is a substantial amount, right, of those textile products, you promised him 2 with the possibility of 3. And it's up to you whether or not you uphold that promise. He will increase the amount of men, right, that he has ready to fight. The way the Duke is taking this, right, is that you are foreseeing there being possible issues during the interregnum, and you're trying to secure people who are willing to come and fight, perhaps the Marquis of Ruthenia and any people he has, and so he's essentially betting, because it's going to cost him a lot if he has to raise those levies. So he's betting that you guys aren't going to raise his levies, essentially. So he's going to be a little miffed at you when you raise his levies in like a couple of days. But he's agreed, and he'll honor that pledge.
Well, and I mean, the thing is his tithe going down isn't necessarily like, we can like negotiate that for being a several-year deal rather than just once.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I'm not trying to cheat this guy or anything. I'm just trying to, like, hey, raise more levies. Up. Essentially, in the CK2 terminology of this, I'm trying to get him to adjust the slider towards the manpower side of things.
Yeah, and he will do that.
All right. Well, I think we can make ourselves a deal, but we just wanted to make sure that you were aware. However, you are the first to know of this, so we would appreciate it if you did keep this in confidence.
Was that it?
Well, I was telling that to the Duke that he would keep this in confidence.
I didn't know if you were about to say like that the Empire is being invading, or if you were just keeping like the.
And then we kill him. It's just
yeah.
I think given the deal we just negotiated, we should probably keep that under our hats.
Can I just real quick insight check him just to make sure that he's not trying to pull the wool over our eyes with anything?
Yeah, go ahead. Like, you guys have successfully pulled the wool over his eyes.
Actually, hold on, Jacer. Let me roll that. I'd probably.
It's too late, and he got a good roll, so it's fine.
He did get.
I was gonna say I have a plus 10 to insight, so.
I have a +1.
A +1. I mean, you got a good roll.
Yeah, you did.
I have a +7.
Yeah, so you can tell he is. He's not like suspicious of you guys personally, but you can tell he thinks that he's making a gamble here, right? He's gambling that you guys are not going to have to raise his levy versus him getting a tax break, right? And so, but other than that, he's not like there's nothing really super sketchy going on.
Yeah.
So, like, you can tell he has misinterpreted the reasons for you getting him to raise his levy.
Okay, good.
Excellent. And then the banner raises like an hour later, and
well, I mean, to be fair, I assume that the banners are going to be raised a few weeks later.
I was kind of hoping they'd raise it like the day after we got here.
Oh no!
No.
When you have the banners raised.
Well, because we've got a few months. It's taken us 4 days to get here.
Keep in mind though, right? Like, the Empire is big.
Sure.
So the Tsar and his forces have crossed the Vistula, right?
Mm-hmm.
The distance between the Vistula and
well, I'm going
for him to get from the Vistula to like the Carpathians is like almost is not that much longer than the time it would take, say, the town of Ruthenia to get to Viest, right?
What you said earlier on implied we had more time than that.
Like, as I said, you have a couple of months, but none of your people, right, are like the Tsar has an army in the field that is closing in on you as we speak. Every day that passes is a day that army gets closer to the mountains. Nobody else in the Empire knows, outside of the Privy Council, that the Tsar is coming. So no one's raised levies. And that's a process that takes time, right? You have to go to all of your peasants, right, and say, all right, everybody.
Okay, fair enough.
We need one male from every household go get all of your equipment together, right, and meet at this mustering point, and then they make sure that everybody's mustered, right, and then they make sure that everybody's got all their equipment, and they get a baggage train going and a supply train going so that they can feed this big army, and then they start moving the army to your capital, right, and that takes time. So while you have a couple of months, it's going to take a while for all of your forces to assemble.
So what's going to happen is we're going to start the initial battle probably at half strength, and then we're going to get the rest of our forces there.
Yeah. So, like, it's going to depend a lot. Like, so some people might be more ready than others. Some people might not come at all.
So if we have the knowledge as part of the Privy Council, what are some worrying vassals that we think may not show?
So the worrying vassal. So Duke of Savoy is a worrying vassal, right? It's unclear because the Duke of Savoy is an Italian or an Italian duke. When you guys invaded the duchy, he kept his duchy, right? He's now just a vassal of the empire. So this could be a chance for him to declare independence. So he's worrying. He's not super disloyal, but he is worrying. The Duke of Croatia is basically in the same boat. He's the Croatian Duke when the Empire invaded Croatia.
Did you get this from? Anyway, sorry.
Did I get this from what?
Crusaders Kings.
No, I got this from history. When you're right, so these people might use the interregnum to break. But they're not necessarily super disloyal. The Duchy of Croatia is in poor straits, though, right? Like, you're not probably going to get a lot of people out of Croatia if they come. Styria is loyal. The Counts of Austria are loyal. The King of the Magyars is loyal. When I say loyal, I mean the Lancer call to arms. The Marquis of Ruthenia is disloyal.
Yeah.
Not only will he not answer your call to arms, there's significant chance that he's going to start shit because of the interregnum.
So we had to go destroy him, is what you're saying?
It's what you do with him is up to you.
Okay. So I would.
He's taken no action.
So going under the ruse that I am a spy master, I kind of want to start taking that rumor and putting some truth behind it. I kind of want to visit the Marquis.
What I was going to suggest is we I can't remember where the map button is here. Is there a button I can use? Click here to just get back to the map. I don't see one.
Yeah. So what you do is you go to images.
Where's images?
Click image and then
We don't have images.
You don't have images. Oh, what the hell?
We have tokens, library.
I think you can give it to us, but I don't know.
Let me Empire sharing share sheet. You just pop up for everybody.
I already had it up.
There we go. Yeah. I accidentally closed it earlier, so. Yeah, so what I think we should do is we're pretty sure Styria is loyal. We bypass Styria. We travel to Duke of Croatia, give him a similar deal.
The Duke Otto of Styria is a relative of the Queen. Like, Styria, it's not just pretty sure. Like, Styria is loyal. They will answer. Okay. There is no question about their loyalty.
Okay. I think we're good with the Duke of Savoy. We've worked a deal with them.
We head to Croatia. We offer a similar deal there. If we can get him, good. If not, either way, what we do is we go up to the Marquis of Ruthenia, and
I know what I want to do in the Marquis. I want to set up a miniature spy network for myself. For the whole council, but I want to set it up and be the head of, to get that rolling.
Mm-hmm.
That would take time. So, if there's any way that, I know it's backtracking really, but if there's any way that we can go straight from the Duke, you can leave me a Marquis. I can set that up. I can pose as a traveling bard. They might have heard of me, so that would help with that. Or they would have heard of me, I'm sure. But that would help set that up. I can get that rolling, and y'all can do what y'all need to do in Croatia. Y'all really don't need me there.
Okay.
Let's split the party.
Let's split.
But I wouldn't be a
Oh.
fan of splitting the party, but we are on a time frame. So if you can fly me to the marquee,
Which reminds me, so yeah, we can go ahead and do that. Although we might still be able to get there faster on by dragon, but whatever.
well, that's what I'm
the,
saying. You fly me to the marquee.
Okay.
Because what I'm gonna do is set up a spy network, and really that is just me doing it.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jacer, do you want to head to Croatia on horseback? And then I'll meet you there.
I can summon a griffin, and I'll fly there. It goes as fast as your dragon, so it should be all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, can you summon a griffin and give it to me?
Technically, yes, but then I wouldn't be able to summon one for myself.
Well, but if you're with the dragon,
Just go with it.
All right, yeah, I can summon a griffin, and you can use it.
all right, so that way
I'll
there's
just
not.
to follow your commands, because once it's a mile out from me, I can't talk to it.
I have talked with animal.
Something that hadn't occurred to me up until this point. What is the Empire's relation with the German states and the Empire of the Romans?
So with the German states, the Empire maintains diplomatic relations with them, but they're non-aligned, right?
Mhm.
So occasionally they go to war with them, occasionally they contribute, but basically you can count on absolutely no help whatsoever from the German states. But they also won't help your enemies. They're basically just a neutral foreign country, right? Or rather, a whole bunch of little tiny neutral foreign countries. The great and bountiful Empire of the Romans to the southeast, right? You guys are on not the best of terms with them. There is a new emperor, right? And the new emperor is sort of rebuilding the empire again. And the reason he has to rebuild the empire again, because they were doing pretty good, is that, how to put this? Fat Albert II, Emperor of the Crown Lands, kind of allowed a whole bunch of angry Normans and Frenchmen and Venetians to pass through his lands into the empire and sort of take over their capital and sack it and burn it to the ground. So they're not really happy with you. What's more is the emperor has married his or not married, sorry, he's adopted one of the vassals of Tsar as his heir.
Okay.
So the emperor has the Sviatoslav of Kiev, who is one of the main vassals of he's one of the three princes, right? He's one of the big three. There is Novgorod, Kiev, and then the Baltic, right? And so this is one of the big three, and one of the big three has been adopted by the emperor to be the next emperor. So your guys are on kind of shaky terms with the empire. Let's put it that way. They're not in open war against you, but they are definitely not friendly towards you.
So if we were to send an emissary to them, would they be received?
Yes, the empire will always receive your emissaries.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing I'm worried about. Are they just going to allow, as a bit of revenge, are they going to allow the Russians here military access so that they can come through and hit us in the
I don't think they'd trust any foreign parties into their country.
But yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if they trust any foreign parties after what the Venetians did to Constantinople.
Yeah. The empire might be willing to allow Sviatoslav of Kiev military access again because they've adopted him as the next emperor, right? Definitely not the Baltic states, right? Those guys are a bunch of pagans, right? There is a ongoing crusade against them, which has been called by the Pope.
Okay, so what I would suggest with in regards to the Romans, we have an emissary dispatched, basically just to say, hey, can you stay neutral in this? And if you are going to offer the military access, can you at least do the thing to maintain neutrality and make it public? Don't let them surprise us.
I actually think we might be able to win the Romans over, and we might be able to win the Romans over while gaining something, or while guaranteeing something.
All right, how do you plan to do this?
So, we know Croatia is not exactly happy with us. We know they are a questionable state.
They are definitely not happy.
So, if we go to the Romans, we offer them all of Croatia. Yes, it takes a sizable chunk out of the empire,
I don't believe that's within our authority.
but we
It's
can
absolutely not within your authority, but continue.
we can take that to the council, however, and see if we can work that out. If not, we can offer the province that the count and the main duke sits upon. We can offer a province, at least those two provinces, that would make it to where we don't have to worry about Croatia, the Duke of Croatia. Um, we would keep some land, and we might even be able to win either full neutrality and not allowing any open borders to anybody during this war, so that way we don't have to worry about our ass, or we might even be able to win a small alliance that gets us at least a platoon or two of troops.
I don't think we could come up with any deal that would be worth it.
If you feel like that is a wise course of action, I will not stop you.
I mean, it's worth taking to the table. I mean, worst case scenario, they say no, there's no deal. We're not going to do any of that, and we
Well,
just
no.
keep
Worst
the
case
land.
scenario is they take the deal and backstab us.
Actually, let me put this this way. This is when you take this to the Privy Council. This is what's going to happen. The Lord Regent will inform you that that is by far not the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is that the Duke of Croatia, having his it finds out about it, right? The Duke of Croatia finds out about it, then he will raise his flag in rebellion. And the Marquis of Ruthenia will join because the Marquis is already deployed, which then puts the Magyar lands in a really nasty.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
But-
I would just send an emissary and be like, hey, here's what might be happening. Just help us out. Either
I
don't.
wouldn't even say help us out. Just we just want them to stay a neutral,
Well, yeah, help us out by staying
impassable
neutral.
barrier.
Please remain neutral in this time.
So, anyways, I need to get to the marquee and start my work.
Yes, you do. So you can over there.
Ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba-da.
Okay, and then we head down to Croatia. Which one do we want to handle first?
Really, the marquee, the only thing would be a couple dice rolls. I'm going to set up in a tavern at the capital of Ruthenia. And I'm going to start up a small spy network, mostly consisting of beggars and orphans, the people that are invisible to society usually. And then I might try for some higher level spies within the Marquis's court, but I don't know if I want to push that hard.
All right, so that will take you another 4 days to get to Croatia, right? Unless you want to fly out over the water, that has its own risks. If you fly directly over the water, it's going to take you 3 days.
Given the sea serpent I see on the map there, perhaps that would not be the best idea.
Perhaps not.
Also,
So-
considering that the dragon is essentially somewhat overloaded at the moment.
So,
yeah.
Right, so it's going to take you 4 days to get to Croatia. It's going to take you 8 days to get to Ruthenia.
All right, so handle theirs first.
All right, so the clock will tick forward 4 more days. It is now the 11th of April.
I'm sorry.
1364 of the second year.
Real quick, one thing that I did tell the party before I split, if they don't hear back from me within 2 days of them returning to where the council sits, raise the banner without me.
Yeah, all right, so arrived. Missile lock, aboard! You've arrived in... Oh my god, another one! Quick,
What is
flares.
that?
It's my phone is on vibrate and people text me.
Gotcha.
Oh god. Yeah, so you've arrived in Croatia.
Okay, so basically the same story. We go see the Duke. And we're basically giving him the same spiel. Do I know? I'm gonna do perception to see if I notice anything amiss while we're here.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll. A roll, if you please, Mr. Bjorn.
Why is it not rolling?
Perception skills.
Oh, hold on. I think I found the problem.
Perception.
I had manual dice rolls on.
It works for me if I double click it.
I just rolled it. 23.
All right. All right. 23. You say?
Yeah. 13 plus 10.
13 plus 10. Yeah. So, are you specifically looking at his court, or at like where are you making this check?
This would probably be at his court. Yeah. Like I mean, if I notice anything else along the way, that would that would catch my attention. Then yeah, I would take a closer look at that. But given the Cliff Notes version here, I would primarily be checking around his court while we're
Yeah. So the King of Croatia's court has seen better days, to put it lightly. It's not like absolutely disreputable, but it's in some state of disrepair. Like you can tell, this court used to be wealthy, and now it's not. And that sort of gels fairly well with what you expected, right? They're not in the best of straits.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no evidence of, again, there's no real evidence of the Duke skimming off of his taxes.
Mm-hmm. So I'd probably raise this with him and just say, things look like it looks like you've had better times here. Is there anything in particular that has gone wrong of late?
Well, there was this incident where they were conquered by the Emperor about 30 years ago.
Well,
and they really haven't recovered from that.
I see.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do to facilitate a faster recovery within the Empire?
Yes. So, if you want, if you're willing to return, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the wealth that has been looted from his country, that would facilitate his recovery. He wants money.
Given the actions of the late Emperor, that may take some time, unfortunately.
We could definitely drop his tariff.
We don't want to drop everyone's tithe.
No, just
Yeah.
their tithes. But if we're only dropping 2 with the land that we own, it wouldn't be that bad.
What I'm afraid of is if we lower the taxes on both Savoy and Croatia, Styria may become disloyal because they're now being disproportionately taxed. I mean, I'm not saying that they would go into active revolt, but they may be less willing to come and aid us.
Well, Styria is as loyal gets, from what Omont said.
Styria is loyal.
They are loyal, but I don't.
I doesn't.
Look, it's basically going to be a thing of. It's basically a thing of if we lower their taxes, everyone's going to be like, "Hey, you want to lower my taxes? Well, you lower their taxes. Why don't you lower my taxes?" There's going to be this whole
we're
thing.
Your best friends. Why do you?
And then we have to fucking put down their rebellions and depose their leaders, public executions of the dukes, and then replace them with puppets. It's just too much work.
I mean, we could do that to Croatia.
We could do that to Croatia. That's kind of what I was thinking.
And we don't have a lot of time, so a marriage with a loyal vassal wouldn't be the best idea.
Well, we could always find someone in this court who is sympathetic to our empress, and replace him with him.
Yeah, but replacing him, we don't know what the people's opinion on him is. So if we replace him and it turns out the people looked to him because he's a good leader, all of a sudden it's not the courts we're worried about, it's the people, which is a lot worse.
Hmm.
I think we could make a promise on the grounds of within, so we know the war is starting soon. If we can make the promise that within the grounds of a year we can do our best to restore 50% of the claimed treasure that was lost.
We don't know how much that was.
But
I mean,
the point is, but at the time, we are just buying loyalty for the upcoming fight. So,
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's important, but you have to keep in mind the long-term health of the Empire as well.
I get that.
It doesn't do us a lot of good if we hollow out the Empire to win this one war.
I agree. However, hollowing out one vassal wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. If you hollow out one vassal for the duration of a war, and then once the war is over, if they try to raise flags, we've already taken care of the marquee and the war itself. Then if they try to raise flags, he has the entire empire against him. Sometimes sacrifices are necessary. You can't win every battle.
I mean, yes, I know that, but
So we make a promise.
I think
we make a promise we know we can't keep, and then we end up dealing with the consequences.
Here's what I was gonna say. We don't offer him immediate tax relief. We
Actually gets his ass in line.
What I was gonna say is there's trouble brewing within the Empire. We point to Ruthenia again as the likely suspect. And given the current financial state of the Empire, we cannot afford to lower your taxes at the moment. However, once the conflict is over, we may be able to see a period of several years in which your taxes are reduced.
Greatly reduced.
Mm-hmm. In order to help facilitate your economic recovery. What do you guys think about that? I mean, this would obviously be
that would
subject to the approval of the regent, but
that would probably be the best bet if we're trying to maintain permanent relations. But that's if the regent allows it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, we have our greatest card. We know a war is coming. We can always play that card.
I mean, what I was going to say is we can also play that card as well. But what I was going to say is we can. In fact, that might actually be a good thing to play here. Now that I'm thinking about it, but what I was going to say though is that we could pretty easily, like I'm going back to my earlier argument and countering it here. We could argue that yes, you're being taxed greater than the other areas, but the Savoy is being, they're having a manpower tax essentially. More of their men are being drafted than yours, and Croatia, we could say we need them to be able to recover economically, so we are giving them a temporary reduction in taxes to facilitate that, so that they can pay more later on.
Yeah, I would. I mean, this is your discussion. I'm not technically there.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Yeah.
Jacer, what do you think?
I don't know, honestly. There's a lot of ways to play it. He doesn't like us, so I don't feel like that we could either go in with the licking his boots until he likes us, or we could put the hammer down and make him. It's either you help us or you perish.
Yeah, but if he rebels in the middle of the war,
that's also what I'm
I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to lay the gauntlet down, and not like that we're going to say we're going to destroy them, but say the Russians are coming, they're bringing demons, and we believe they want all of our lands without us attached.
Yep.
And then offer him the deal I mentioned previously.
Yeah, I would go with that. I think that's our best bet for anything.
So I'm going to basically kind of lay that out to him and see how he's responding to it.
All right. We'll have the big stick as Plan B.
Yeah, so he is going to. Yeah, so he's pretty shocked when you guys inform him that the Russians are coming. And so yeah, so he's going to. So what are you offering him exactly?
We're gonna.
Him anything.
I was gonna say basically the argument is gonna boil down to it's better to have the devil you know than the devil you don't.
No, I was gonna say we're post conflict with the Russians. We would offer him
A 5% reduction.
we would offer him a substantial reduction in taxes for a period of 10 years to facilitate the recovery of his economy. And this is this is something I thought of in a possible upcoming internal conflict with Ruthenia. We would allow him to remain neutral.
That'd be nice. I would say that's a pretty good offer.
Given the economic devastation of his country.
What about if he asks for like autonomy?
I mean, essentially, that's what I'm offering him.
We're offering 10 years of autonomy. That
Like-
is something
like-
we can't guarantee. He would have to
Okay.
petition that to the regent themselves.
Yeah, I mean, once again, this is all subject to the deal to a deal with the regent, but
Yeah, we'll have to look it up.
the idea here is that he will maintain paying taxes and everything through the period of the conflict with the Russians. But once that is done,
And as he hails to the banner.
yeah, once that is done, he will be given a reduction in taxes for a period of 10 years, and then should conflict with Ruthenia break out, he will be allowed to remain neutral if he wishes. I mean, we're not going to say no, you can't join us in battle, but should he wish his duchy to remain neutral, he may do so.
All right.
Yeah, all right. He'll go for that.
Cool.
And we would appreciate until the banners are called, you keep this under wraps. It should be coming soon, but we don't want to cause panic before we believe we need to call up the troops.
Yeah. You will keep it under wraps.
Okay. So I guess we now go to Croatia.
I guess so.
Not
Or no,
Croatia,
I thought
Ruthenia.
Yeah,
Are we
well,
heading
I'm
back?
already there in Ruthenia. Y'all
Well, yeah,
can
that's what
return-
I mean. Like we cut over to there for you to do.
Yeah, y'all can return to the council.
Yeah, let's head back. And then he said if we don't hear back from him in 2 days, then we can raise the banner without him.
I will be right back.
All right. Yeah. So you are in Ruthenia.
Roughly on the continent, where's the capital?
The capital. Stand by. It's sort of in like the center of Ruthenia.
Like where of is?
Sort of where the tip of the R is.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to use my disguise kit. Obviously, I can't hide that I'm a tiefling. However, I can hide my face. Where is it? Abilities. Yay. Yeah, so I have a disguise kit. Okay. So I'm going to use my disguise kit. I'm going to simply pale out my face. I'm going to try to look more half tiefling, less of who I am.
All right.
Just so that way I'm not as easily recognizable, as I highly doubt common folk would notice me on a face basis.
Mhm.
I'm going to set up in the tavern. I'm going to work out a deal with the tavern keep. If I need to roll anything, tell me. That I'll be staying for an extended period of time, preferably at a discounted rate since it's guaranteed money.
You do not need to work out anything with the tavern keep. You have enough money to pay for it. Tavern rent is relatively cheap, and you are here for rent.
Okay. I'm going to build a routine over the course of a day, 2 days. I'll do 2 days. So that means there are 2 days in travel to the court. I'm going to approach. How do they send communication? By horse or by hawk?
Carry pigeon.
Carrier pigeon? Okay. I'm going to find a way to send out a pigeon, let them know, extend the duration of raising the banner by 2 more days.
All right.
Unless deemed necessary to call sooner. And then I'm going to start keeping an eye out for orphans and beggars.
All right. Yeah, so there's not a lot of beggars in Ruthenia.
He's gonna get a network of little birds.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So basically at the end of your first day, you're gonna realize that there really actually aren't a whole lot of beggars around. Like normally, if you go to like Viest or Pravda or Savoy, even in Savoy where it's prosperous, there's still like some beggars around, right? There's like in the entire you quarter the city, and in the entire city, you find like maybe 2 beggars.
All right, I want to talk to one of them. I'll just simply walk over to one and I'll drop 2 pence, or I'll go to hand him 2 pence, mostly to get his attention, and then.
Oh, when you hand him 2 pence, he'll be like, "Oh, thank you, sir. Blessings and reward upon you."
Is it okay if I borrow your ear for a moment, sir?
He'll nod and be like, "Ah, yes, noble master. What can a humble beggar such as myself do for you?"
Oh, I'm no master. I'm simply a traveling bard. I just curious. There happens to be almost no one of, for lack of better terms, no one of your financial situation, except for maybe one other man I saw. Is there something going on here?
Oh, noble sir, it is but poor misfortune and a dicky leg what hath doomed me to my fate.
So I take it people in your financial situation are very rare in this city.
Ah, so say ye yourself, noble lord.
How often do you get noticed by the guards?
Oh, the guards are a cruel lot. Aye, sir, cruel indeed. They have no patience what for beggars gracing the side of the road.
Do you have any friends?
I have many friends, noble lord. I have many friends indeed. Many is the kind master who grants me the pittance what I need to buy my own bread.
How many, if you had to put a number to it, how many friends do you have?
Oh, well, there's this right bonny lass up in the upper districts who never fails to give me a good 6 pence every Thursday. And there's this the blacksmith's son is a kind lad indeed, don't you know? And there's one of the serving girls at Ratiak's tavern. She'll give me a free pint now and again. Oh, and Snowcorn on the overnight guards. He's all right, I suppose. He lets me sleep in the crumbling tower. Oh, and there's Mikhail over in the East District. He's a good boy now. He brings me what for a portion of the leftovers from the tavern there. And there's also Konyar, who's he's a good friend of mine. Yeah.
And what does he do?
Oh, he keeps tabs on us, don't you know? Make sure that we get ourselves a good place to bed down in the night when it gets right cold here in the winter, don't you know?
Is there any way I could meet him?
Oh, Kanya, sure, you can. He's over in Volcania right now, don't you know?
Wait, where is he? I'm sorry, I couldn't.
He's in Volcania. You know, he's the vassal of the Marquis.
Oh, well, that's a shame. But
Oh, I don't know about that. Volcania's a fine place for beggars, don't you know?
I didn't know that. I do appreciate that. So,
Oh, take him kindly, sir.
this night guard, what's his name?
Oh, the night guard, over in the tower. What lets me sleep in the crumbling tower? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's Cognac.
Interesting. Do you know when he's next on shift?
Oh, it's that'd be when it's night, you know, seeing how he's a night guard and all.
Yes, but I didn't know if his next shift was tonight or if he had the evening off.
Oh, there's no evenings off for the night guard. No, it's right bustling around here all late. Everyone pulling double shifts, one on account of the Cossacks and all.
On account of the what?
The Cossacks, you know, the Easterners, they what has the mustaches and all. They's been showing up, causing Nevada wee trouble over at the tavern. They can be some rough customers, don't you know? Never give a wee beggar a tip.
Interesting. Well, I do appreciate all the information. If you ever need anything, or if you ever find yourself in the market of some information that you think would be pertinent, mostly of guards or higher ups, or if any of your beggar friends want to make some money, let them know. I'll be staying at the tavern just down the way. I'd be more than willing to
Oh,
talk to them.
I bet you would now, don't you know? I'll pass the word along to all of me beggar friends. You know what? The city having a great wee bit of population of beggars. But, maybe I will.
And for your troubles, I'll hand him 1 shilling.
Oh, shilling, don't you know? He is might generous for a bard. I thank you kindly, sir. May the Lord smile upon ye. Ye done a fellow a good turn indeed.
Well, I hope you can sleep somewhere nice and warm tonight.
Oh, I be sleeping in a nice warm spot tonight, all right. I'm gonna go to old Meg's.
So I want to go talk to the lady in the upper district.
Yeah. Uh, I don't think did he give you a name? He did.
He
Because I'm just
did.
like vomiting out names. I
Yes.
wasn't paying attention because didn't expect you to call me out on this nonsense. All right.
I'm setting up a spy network. I kind of got to pay attention here.
God, fucking. All right. So yeah, you can go see the old lady up in the yeah. So there's a kind young lass up in the upper district. That's like one of my go-to names. Whatever. We're gonna call her Madeline, and she is yeah, she's in the upper district. You can ask around for her if you so choose.
Yeah, I'll ask. And
Yeah.
if anybody asks me why I'm looking for her, simply that I'm a bard, that she caught my tune and she wished to hear me in private, and I unfortunately being a bard, I'm not the greatest with directions, so I may have lost my way.
Get a private audience. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean? You know what I mean.
I'm not that kind of bard.
Me not that kind of orc. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if you go to the upper district and ask around for Lady Madeline, she is staying in the guest quarters.
In the guest quarters?
Yeah, she is. She's not a. She's not a Ruthenian.
Interesting. It made it sound like she's been here for quite a while.
She has been, but she's not a Ruthenian.
All right, well,
She is unwed.
I'm still going to approach her. You must be Lady Madeline.
Yeah, and so you meet her, and she's sort of sitting down for her, and yeah, she says, and you are, sir?
Uh, my name's Z. I'm a simple traveling bard, but I've heard of some of the great things you do for this city. One of the beggars that I shared a loaf of bread with spoke highly of you, and I just had to meet someone of generous nature as yourself.
Yeah. And she says, well, I do my best to help the local poor. Giving alms is a virtue.
That it is, and I try to make note that if it weren't for kind patrons and a little bit of talent I do have, I would be right there with them. So seeing someone like you in your position give those kinds of alms, it does make me quite happy that someone's looking out for them.
Yeah. And she says, you are very modest. Mark. What may I do for you?
Well, really, I was just curious. I don't believe you are of Ruthenian descent. What brings you to here?
My Lord Father sent me from Bohemia to seek a suitor in this city.
You know, that's not a bad idea. I take it wasn't entirely by choice for you?
And she says, no, I was happy to go. It has been, I stayed long now in Bohemia.
All right, well, I mean, as long as
To
it's...
see a new place.
Well, it's always good to get out and travel. One of the few perks of my profession. I'm going to... So, have you found anybody that would suit what you were looking for?
Alas, no, not as yet, but I retain hope.
Well, I do believe your father would be preferring you marry up in society.
Yes, to say the least. May I ask, sir?
Look, I know you're a bard, but you don't have to fuck everybody.
I'm going to say, may I ask, sir, but what to why do you ask these questions?
Are we out in public, or where are we?
You're sort of in like a you're in the upper district. You're in like a sort of like classy-ish, an inn that like caters to nobles. Right? So there's a few people around, but there's not like a ton.
So if I were to talk in a little more hushed tone, what are the odds of me being heard?
Yeah, pretty well.
Pretty low?
Yeah.
All right. I'm simply gonna motion to see if I can sit with her.
Right.
See if she'll allow me to.
I like how may I sit? Yeah. She'll grant you leave to sit.
Uh, I'll sit. I'm sure I have a seal that shows my position. As part of the council. I'm simply going to pull out the seal and place it on the table where she could see it, but to where it's not exactly in plain view for the room.
Yeah, so what is your position on the council? Are you spy master?
Technically, I don't know if I have a position, but since everybody thinks I'm a spy master, I'll just go with it.
You are on the Privy Council. You can just be a plain advisor, but there are specific positions on
As
the
a
council.
heads up, I think we need to head out here in a few minutes.
Right, yeah, so there are specific positions on the council. There's a master, there's a steward, there's a master of horse, there's a whole bunch of...
I'll just go with spy master.
All right, yeah. Yeah, so you can be the spy master, and you have a sigil that identifies you as such.
All right, so I'll place it on the table, not in plain sight, but to where she can definitely take note of it.
Yeah, and so she recognizes the symbol immediately, and does not react in any way.
I appreciate the delicacy of seeing something of this. I'll slide it back into my pocket. So that's what these questions are for. Plus, as I said, I am just a bard, and I do appreciate those helping out the poor.
So yeah, she looks at you and says, "Well, after all, I do live to serve."
So I am aware that uh, you may be looking for a higher position, and I may be in a position that can find you a suitor available in a higher status. But that may come with some caveats if you understand where I'm coming from.
And she says, I do believe I understand, Malak. I would be, of course, delighted to meet any such suitor that you would propose. My father would, of course, have to agree to such a union.
Of course, I would never dismiss the fact, but I do know that people of fine taste, such as yourself, are very hard to meet these days. But if I arrange a meeting, I'm sure your father wouldn't dismiss a simple meeting.
And she says, were I had a proper chaperone, of course not.
Of course. So, Madeline, I will go ahead and bid you adieu, but I do believe you'll hear from me shortly.
And she says, I look forward to hearing from you.
So I'll leave her, and I want to go. I want to go remove my disguise and go to the court.
Yeah, all right.
In which I'm going to go to the court and simply request a audience of the Marquis.
Sorry, what was that?
I want to go to the court and request an audience of the Marquis.
Yeah, the Marquis will see you presently. Again, you're a member of the Privy Council.
Yeah.
Even though he is not loyal.
So
They will introduce you.
So I'm gonna just say, because it would make sense, I'm gonna have two sigils: a sigil that shows I'm on the Privy Council, and then a sigil that shows I'm Spy Master. So that way, if I need to show a sigil, I don't have to give away my exact role.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So I'm gonna simply meet with the Marquis, idle chit chat, and then I want to take very notice of his court, and if any of his advisors are present, and if any of them are single. Like if any of them have a lack of wedding bands.
Yeah. So give me a perception check.
Just did.
Oh, I do not. See, come on. What's the? I got a thing. 27. All right. Yeah. So the master of force is unwed.
Okay, so I'll make idle chit chat for the Marquis, just simply saying, "Oh, we're just checking in. We understand all the blah 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 politics, the new Empress and her legitimacy, and all right, later. And her legitimacy is in question, and all that fun stuff, and that we can always count on the Marquis to be a upstanding member of the Empire."
And the Marquis, who will basically say, of course, my condolences go out to both you and Her Majesty for the tragic and premature loss of her father. May God receive his soul. To what do I owe, the pleasure of your company today?
We're just simply making our rounds. Each member is visiting a few vassals, as it be, just to simply check in, make sure everybody is aware of the news, and honestly to get a census of what your opinions are of the new Empress. And this is a time, and I will go to state on record, this is a time in which you are allowed to speak freely.
And he says, "Oh, well, of course, I appreciate your Your candor, and I hope you shall appreciate mine when I say that the Empress is a bastard and has no right to rule either the Empire or her own duchy. But that is neither here nor there, and of course, I am sure that you will relay in confidence a suitably edited variant of that. How long do you plan on staying?
Oh, not long. I do have a few. I do have to visit the king of Pravada.
King
This,
of Bohemia.
the
And he says, yes, do give King Turld my regards. Will you be requiring lodgings?
Oh no, I must make haste. We have quite a few people to visit, but I do appreciate the seeing me, and I do appreciate the candor in which you have shared. And as I have said, it is on record that you were allowed to speak freely and in any manner you chose, and it will not reflect poorly
Indeed.
upon you.
Well, I'm glad that you gave me that opportunity. As I said, do give King Turld my regards.
Absolutely, and I may be staying around for a little bit longer, but I won't need lodging. I will be making it out before the sun sets.
Well, my hall is at your disposal, my lord.
And is there any chance I could speak with your Duke of Horse? I do believe I might need to purchase one, as my transportation is no longer with me, unfortunately.
Uh, Lord Kedwin, please attend to the gentleman. And
And
the Marquis Master of Horse shall come over to you and say, my lord,
what was your name again?
Kedwin, sir.
Kedwin. Nice to meet you. Yes, if we could go out to the stables, I might need some help with a horse.
At once, my lord.
All right, so that way we leave the marquee, we get to the stables, and so, how is the court treating you?
Very well, my lord.
The marquis seems a fine man.
He is indeed. May I interest you in this bay, sir? It is a fine steed, one of our finest.
Honestly, I'm not actually in need of a horse at this moment. I actually had some questions for you. I noticed you were unwed.
It is the truth, my lord. My late wife will be sorely missed.
I do apologize to hear that, and there's no need for my lord. I am a bard, of course. I'm just an advisor. I have nothing of real power here, so you can just address me. I have no need for the lord. But
Indeed.
I am aware that you said it was Bohemia that Madeline was from.
She's from Bohemia.
Bohemia. Uh,
Bohemia is a vassal county of the Marquis.
yep. I do know there is a fine young lass of very generous heart that is seeking a suitor. She happens to be the daughter of the Count of Bohemia.
Um, yeah, so he's going to say, surely, sir, you must be mistaken. The Count of Bohemia has no daughter.
Really?
And he says, yes.
Well, either way, she's still a fine lass, and unless have your eyes set on someone, I'd prefer if you meet her.
Yeah, so he's going to, he's going to look at you and say, if it's all the same to you, Bard, I would prefer to remain private in my affairs. Now, if there is nothing else, I bid you a good day.
Yes, absolutely. I will go ahead and make a purchase of a horse. Go ahead and give me your fastest.
He says, very well. And he says, that will be half second. quantity 1, horse, excellent quality. Will you be requiring a carriage?
No, just for myself.
Very good.
And if it's okay with you, can I leave him stabled here until I need to make my leave?
Yes, that will be fine. You may continue to use the stables.
All right, I do appreciate it. So I'm gonna go back to Madeline,
Mm-hmm.
young Madeline.
Yep.
I take it I find her at the same guest house.
Yeah.
All right.
She's still there.
So I'll sit down with her. So tell me again, where are you from, Madeline?
Volhynia.
And you're the daughter of?
I say, and she'll say, I am the daughter of the Count Stewart.
Oh, the Count Steward. Can I retcon all that? I thought you said the Count. I didn't hear the Steward part.
I'll allow.
Okay, so I'll retcon it. Anyways, the daughter of the court of Vahinia is quite a fine young lass, and I think it'd be best if you meet her, and I will roll a persuasion.
Alright. Give me a persuasion.
It's still a 19.
19! Yeah, so to be frank with you here, this guy ain't gonna go meet some random lady just because he said so. Don't you know? So he's basically like, no, I'm good, thanks. He's relatively recently widowed. Well, he will remarry inevitably. He's not going to like go off the recommendation of some guy basically who's not even like you lost him once you dispensed with the titles.
Okay.
Like, oh, you're not even a lord. You're just an advisor on the Privy Council, right? So he's kind of checked out. Like he'll sell you a horse if you want, right? He'll be courteous to you up to the extent that he's required in his position, right?
All right. Well then, if that's the case, I want to go speak to the master of the house, or not the master of the house, the master of the laborers in the house.
All right, that would be the wife of the Marquis of Ruthenian.
All right. So if she's available to speak to, I'll approach her. Good day, milady, and I'll give her a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Just to greet her.
All right. And she'll say yes.
So, I know I'm in no position, but I do have a simple request. A man of my position has no holds over the Marquis in anything other than the fact that he is a valued member of the Empire. But I ran across a young lady who is very generous and very kind-hearted, and seems to know her way around a court, who is in need of some work.
All right.
And I felt that since she knows her way around the court, I do believe she said she was the daughter of the Count Steward of Volhynia.
Yeah. So she'll say, "Oh, you must mean Lady Madeline." Yes, I did not. I was not aware that she was seeking a position at my court.
Well, she just needs something to bide her time. She is, of course, looking for a suitor. However, she said it was quite daunting just looking and not having anything to do. And so I said I'd be more than happy to request a place for her to spend her time, if it was okay with you.
And she says, I'm sure I could find something for her to do."
But of course, as I've said, this is of no request, just simply a friend reaching out for someone that I've seen be generous, and I like to reward generosity.
Yeah. So she says, "Of course. Uh, Send if Lady Madeline wishes, she may inquire in person, and I will find of her a place to occupy her time."
I do appreciate it, my lady. I will go ahead and see to her and a few more businesses I have to attend here. I do appreciate it.
All right.
And I'll bid her farewell. I'll go back to Madeline.
Yep.
So how are you holding up, Madeline?
She's doing fine.
So, I may not be able to find you a suitor. However, I can guarantee a very good place for you to be, and one that your father would be most proud of, if you would do me a small favor.
She looks at you expectantly, like, yes?
I can get you a place in the court of the Marquis, simply as a help, since you do know your way around a court quite well, and I'm sure they would put you in a position justifying that information. But I would need a little bit of information.
Oh, what sort of information?
Just the going-ons. Of course, people in the courts have ears, and not everything is spoken about behind the necessary closed doors. But if you hear something of interest, and you happen to send a pigeon to the council, I mean, we would always be grateful and can always repay those that assist us.
Yeah, so she says, you wish me to include the council in my letters.
Absolutely. I would enjoy it if this went unnoticed, as you have seen. My position, of course, that can't be known.
And she says, well, of course, I will have to ask permission from my father, but, well, you know, if he...
I want to roll a persuasion, see if I can convince her to exclude her father from this.
That's a very difficult check. Good luck.
All right.
12, 29. 29 is not a success.
Wow.
As I said, it's a difficult check. So I'll tell you something here out of character. Lady Madeline is a spy for her father, who is a vassal to the
Marquis.
to the Count of Bohemia, who is a vassal to the Marquis.
Gotcha.
So she spies for the Count of Bohemia. So she is basically unless you roll like a nat 20, she's not gonna spy for you without asking. Like, she will potentially spy for you, right? Because you are a servant of the Queen. Like, she will potentially relay you information, but she's not going to do it without asking permission first.
All right. Well, I am going to. I'll go ahead and say no. Absolutely, request that of your father. However, if there is any way that you can put in a good word for me with your father, I'd be more than appreciative.
She knows and says, of course.
But I must make my farewell. I must get back on my travels. I still have quite a few people to talk to. I do appreciate your time, Madeline.
And yours as well.
And then one more person to talk to if you have time.
I absolutely have time. I have all the time in the world.
The Night Guard.
All right, the Night Guard.
Cognac.
Yeah, cognac.
And I feel like it's bad that I only remember that because it's a type of alcohol.
Indeed.
That is the only reason I remembered his name.
It's the only reason that I remembered his name.
Or not.
I need a name. Cognac.
I don't need
That sounds
help.
close enough to being a potential vaguely Slavic name.
I don't need help. I'm not an alcoholic.
Oh, gosh. I mean, it's after 2 in the afternoon somewhere. In fact, it's after 2 in the afternoon here.
Yeah. Wait, but at this point, is it after or before?
Okay, well, I mean, on my time zone, it's 9 in the morning. All right.
It's fucking 11:30. Wait, what do you mean it's 9 in the morning? Where are you?
I'm in California.
Yeah, so
9 in
isn't
the
it
morning?
As you work up the math, you will be
9:30
like,
p.m.?
isn't it 9:30 p.m.? And the answer is yes, and I am on an exact 12-hour time difference because I work graveyard shift.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Anyways,
Yeah, I gotta sleep. So
I do need to speak to Cognac.
You may speak with Cognac.
I will catch you guys next week.
Later.
Wow.
Yeah, so I will approach the guards once night shift happens, go to the tower that the beggar spoke of, and see if I can't find Cognac.
Yeah, it is not hard to find Cognac. He is the gate watchman. Rather, he is a watchman at the gate, specifically the North Gate, for the night watch. And you
Oh,
find him present. He's on
and
duty.
I'm back in disguise. Sorry.
Yeah, he
Uh,
is on duty when you find him.
so I'll approach him since he is the gate guard and call out to him.
You'll be like, Cognac, what's up, bitch? And he'll be like, oh shit, it's the some bard. What's up, some bard? Boom, fist bump. Yeah, no. He'll be like, yes.
Hi, my name is Z. I was coming to simply say
How you
thanks
doing, Z?
to showing kindness to one of the beggars that I shared a loaf of bread with earlier. He says that you occasionally let him sleep in the tower.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes, I like to get him out of the cold, keep him off the streets.
So there's a surprisingly lack of beggars in this city. For a city this size, usually there's a few more.
Oh yeah, the Marquis had us round up all the known thieves.
All of them as thieves?
No, just all the known thieves. A lot of the known thieves are beggars. So yeah, we threw them in the donjon. So
I know. I've been through many a town. I know most of the beggars aren't thieves. They're just on hard times.
yeah, sure. It says, yeah, there's a rumor going around that we might be under siege here. You know, so I wanted to get some preparation done. First thing to go in a siege is any food supplies. Keeping those out of the hands of thieves is a good thing. So we rounded up all the known beggars.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, is it okay if
Anyways, I know you're talking about sort of like gimpy leg fella down in the southeast side. Yeah, no, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he seems like a good man. Is it okay if I steal a minute of your time and I'll flash him my standard sigil?
Yeah, so he doesn't recognize the sigil, right? Because he's just a guard. But he does recognize that it's a sigil and that you're some guy, right?
Well, yeah, a sigil carries power.
He's like, he doesn't know specifically that you were the queen. He's like, all right, sigil, you're someone important. Yeah, sure. What's up?
So I'll pull him just to the side of the street, not anywhere suspicious, but just pull him to the side. So you seem like a pretty good man, Cognac, and I could really use some help if it's okay.
He's like, oh, sounds like a job for the Lord, but I'll give you a hand.
Well, this is help that I need that only someone in your position would be able to provide.
What kind of help are you talking about?
Information.
He says, well, I can't necessarily. Well, what kind of information do you want?
Just comings and goings. You're a guard gate. It'd be good to know what happens to pass through. And
who do you work for?
For Her Majesty.
Yeah, I suppose I could do that.
No, of course, and I'll roll persuasion if I have to.
I'd have to clear with the guard captain first, though.
Well, I'd prefer it if this stayed between you and me.
And he says, well, I have my duty as a gate guard. I can't just go divulging that kind of information.
Is it 23 past the persuasion?
Persuasion, it's close. Yeah, he's gonna say, look, I can let you know if anybody specific shows up, but
Well, if you could send me just some information, if any big names. I won't ask for everybody that passes through. That simply is unreasonable. But if anybody of stature seems to pass through, or anybody with an armed escort.
all right, well, yeah, I suppose I could send a raven to the queen.
And one other thing, this may be a little outside of my range, but I can always, and I'll jingle my corn purse just a little bit, sweeten the opportunity for a little bit more information.
He says, look, I don't know who you are, but I'll relay the information to the queen. Because she asks.
And that's all I ask.
If you think you can bribe the guard, you are sorely mistaken.
Well, then you're a better man than most. and I do commend you for that.
So, I know where my duty lies.
But if all of a sudden the Marquis calls for the forces to amass, just if you would be ever so kind as to send that information to the Queen and to her council.
He says, I'll keep that under advisement, sir. I bid you a good night.
All right. Other than that, the only thing I could think of, I've already told the beggars to meet at the tavern if they want to make some money. Madeline is set up to possibly be a spy for us, and the guard will be sending us information if there's any big names that come through the gate of the capital.
Yeah. So Lady Madeline will absolutely relay information. Is there anything else you wanted to do in town?
What are the odds of the...
Did you want to buy that horse?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I need a way back. I take it the
Yeah,
Griffin's
so-
probably gone.
Yeah, probably. And the horse is going to cost you 50 pounds.
Oh, okay. I gave myself 100 of every currency, just because.
So if you have 50 pounds on you, you can pay with that. Otherwise, they'll accept a promissory note from the treasurer.
I'll just pay with the 50 pounds I have.
Right, that's fine.
The less record of me being there, the better.
Yeah. Right. So is there anything else you needed to do here?
Part of me wants to visit the Count of Volhynia.
So the Count of Volhynia is in the southeast corner of the Marquis of Ruthenia's territory.
Yeah.
It's going to take you a couple days to get there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about. Time is not something I have the luxury of. I am going to send a letter to the Count by pigeon, or if it's an option, a faster bird, to request his audience at the council chambers. And
you can do that.
I want to stamp it with my sigil of Spymaster.
All right. You absolutely can do that.
Cool.
Smash that, and it will reach the Count.
And then I think that's it. How long? So I'm 2 days behind them. So they're traveling from Croatia to the council chambers, and they have to wait 4 days before I arrive to raise banner. So I have 6 days to get there.
It is the 17th of April, because you spent a couple days in town. And so it's going to take you... let's see here. You will arrive back at Biest on the 25th of April. It's going to take you a little over a week to get back.
So the banner will be raised by the time I reach there.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll send a bird to get there ahead of me to tell him to wait. I am on my way. And we'll raise the banner first thing in the next session. Yeah.
Good.
So hopefully the Count will come see me and I can have some conversations with him. And I have one for sure spy, one for sure guard giving me some basic information, and possibly the homeless people. If they come across anything of great note, they will have a way to message me.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to set up a small account, I use with quotations, at the Pigeon Lodge, that if any beggars or people of lesser financial stature come in, to use the account for them to send messages.
Yeah, you can do that.
So, all right, yeah, that's everything. I think I'm good. I think I can start my journey back to the council chambers.
Sounds good. All right. So you can call it there, and you guys will all meet back up on the 25th of April.
And we will,
year 1364 of the Second Era.
and then we will raise banner and get the real shit show started.
Oh yeah, you have successfully secured the loyalty of the Duke of Savoy and the loyalty of the Duke of Croatia. Got a spy network sort of established in the Marquis of Ruthenia's territory, and the Count of Volhynia will be making his way to the capital. It has been 3 weeks since the start of the Czar March on your territory.
All right.
In your position as spymaster, you have received word that the Tsar is moving from Poland. He's crossed the Vistula, and the Polish army has not again taken the field against him.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Well, this is going to be fun.
So somehow he's secured passage through Poland.
Ouch. And how does Polish feel about us?
Poland is indifferent towards you. They don't really give. They're not friendly. They're not unfriendly. They are kind of neutral. Poland initially raised an army and waylaid the Tsar at the Vistula because they don't want a bunch of random soldiers wandering through their countryside.
Is that
right?
the country we played as in our test?
Yeah. So Casimir the Great and his army basically fought the forces of the Tsar to a standstill at the Vistula 3 weeks ago. Since then, actually technically 4 weeks ago. Since then, the Polish army has not re-engaged. Like your spies in Poland, of which you have a couple, right, that are able to get you information, have basically told you that the Polish king has raised the banners and his levies are assembling, but he has not yet fought the Tsar again, and the Tsar is now moving through Poland.
Okay. And as a spy master, do I have any spies at my disposal at the moment?
Yeah, you have spies all over the place. So
Can I-
most of your spies are you have.
Can I move
Yeah.
any? Like right now, can I
Yeah.
send out the order?
Absolutely. You can send out orders whenever you want to your spies, since you're spy master.
Okay. I definitely. Oh crap! How do I get the map back?
You should be able to. I'll just reshare it. I'll figure out how to do that in the future.
I want to get a spy posted.
In theory, it should have just popped up.
It did not. Oh, there it goes. I want to get a spy posted in. Pravda is pretty loyal, yeah?
The king of Pravda, which is the capital city of Bohemia at this point, he is in a state of conflict with you guys right now. He's not a vassal of yours. He's an independent country, and he's sort of kind of at war with you.
Oh, did not know that. Okay,
Yeah.
I want a few spies.
He just killed your emperor like 5 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, duh. Yeah, I need some spies there for sure.
You already have some there.
Okay, good. I want to get a few more spies in the Marquise territory.
All right.
I want 1 or 2 good spies to Volhynia because something's going on there. I want to know.
Yeah.
And then I would say I want to start pulling my spies from Poland closer to the border that we
Okay.
share.
All right.
Just so that way, if need be, I can have them on closer call since we know shit's about to hit the fan.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and make some notes here, which I will make hidden through the power of clicking the hidden button. Yeah, see?
You're doing what?
I'm making some rolls.
Okay.
Because I figure I'll just like sort of give you a report on what your spies are doing before we call it. All right, so your spies, so you have spies in sort of the region of Volhynia, and they're going to report to you. The Count has basically levied his troops, right, and is marching with his forces on the capital.
Wait, Volhynia is marching from the capital?
So you told remember you told the Count of Volhynia, hey, come to the capital and did your spy master shield, right?
Yeah.
So your spies in Volhynia are reporting to you that the Count of Volhynia is coming with his army.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I don't know if that's a good thing, but I'll take it.
your spies in Poland are going to move, and they're going to inform you. Let's see here. They're going to inform you that Poland has agreed to military access for the Tsar.
Ouch. Okay.
They're also going to report that Knights of the Order of the Flaming Rose have been seen passing into Silesia. That's a Polish hold order, based out of Rose Hall, sort of like where the P is in Poland.
Yeah.
So members of this Polish Holy Order have been seen moving into Silesia.
Oh, good. Happy days.
Your spies in Bohemia are going to report basically nothing really going on. The King of Bohemia has returned to the capital with his forces and some prisoners, and they are not marching on your empire or anything. They're just generally standing down.
Are they enmasked? Like, are they ready to march, or are they just kind of there?
Yeah, no, like they're absolutely ready to march, right? So, like they just a couple of weeks ago fought a battle against your emperor, who they killed on the field, right? So their armies are raised, but they're sort of like marching them home right now.
Okay. What state does the army look like? Do they look like they're in fighting condition, or do they look like they're...
Their army's in very good state. Like they just like beat the ever living crap out of you guys.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they're in pretty good shape.
Cool. What is this small one? The Viscount of Kharkov?
Of Krakow. That is a independent viscount. He is a vassal of yours. He is. He's like one of those weird edge cases where he doesn't actually technically give fealty to Marquis. He gives it directly to the Emperor. He's still within Marquis' territory. He's sort of kind of like a free city. He is exempt from providing military service.
Okay. All right. Yeah. The only other thing, that I would want any of my spies to do, I'd want my best spy currently in Poland to either find a good way to trail the Tsar, or
Yeah, so
to...
your best spy in Poland would be in the capital, which is pretty close to the Tsar, where it is right now. So I can give you a report from that spy. Just a second. Hold on. What the hell did I do with my... I literally just had this 2 seconds ago, and I put it down. Okay, put it on top of my hat, because I'm an idiot. This is why you should never keep notes on your phone. You should keep them in fantasy rounds.
Usually would help.
Normally I keep these just in my browser, but my browser's closed right now because I just restarted my computer and I need to boot it back up. What's her name? Sorry, I'm looking up somebody's name. More. I think it's Anna. Yeah, it's Anna. The Tsar, right, has recognized, this is the report you get from your spy, the Tsar has recognized Anna of Poland as the legitimate heir to the Polish king. He's made a formal proclamation.
Okay, and what does that pertain to us?
Well, the Polish king has been in a bit of a pickle lately, in that the Polish king has no sons. And by Polish law, only men can inherit, right? That's not the case in your empire, but in Poland, the king of Poland needs a male heir. And so the current heir to Poland is a Frenchman, right? Just through the laws of succession. And the king of Poland has been trying to get out of this for a while. He's remarried like 4 times, right? He just married his mistress, and he's trying to have a son, and has been failing. And recently, because he's not been able to produce a male heir, the king of Poland has named his daughter Anna as his successor. which is not a legitimate succession as far as the law of Poland is concerned. Right? And so basically, possession being 9/10 of the law here, the Tsar has just gone out and said, I formally recognize Anna, your daughter, as your heir legally.
Okay.
And so the Polish king, his army's not fighting the Tsar.
Well, that sucks. Okay. All right. And then if there's any way for that spy to, I wouldn't say like get into the ranks of the Tsar, but like I'm sure they have to have a supply chain.
They do.
So I'm sure if she were to, if my spy, I'm just assuming is a she, were to find herself at a uh, midpoint on the supply chain, and either pass as a peasant helping on orders of whatever order she could make up. She's clever. That's why she's my best.
You have been promoted to best because you are clever. Clever out of
Well,
clever.
no, I said my best in Poland.
You did. Your best is in Poland.
So if she could find a way to not, if she can't do it safely, find a way into the Tsar's ranks just for immediate information, then find a way to stay along the supply chain and find any information that way.
Yeah, she'll do what she can.
So, all right, well then I think everything the Spy Master can do is done.
Sweet. All right. Call it there then.
All right.